I love to drink ice water. The colder and icier the water, the better it is to me. On a hot summer day, I make huge glasses of it and sip on them all day. The glass starts out with mostly ice and a little water. As the hot day progresses, the ice melts and the outside of the glass gets wet. The water in my glass is going through several different phases. From solid ice to liquid water as it melts, to vapor as it evaporates. And the wetness on the outside of the glass is from condensation, as the water vapor condenses back on the cold surface of the glass. In chemistry, phase refers to one of the four states that a substance can exist in: liquid, solid, gas, or plasma. A phase has uniform composition and properties. A phase change is when a substance changes from one phase to another. Every change has a different name. As you can see from the table, every state change has a process name. Solid going to liquid is called melting, like ice to water. Solid going to gas is called sublimating, dry ice to CO2 gas. Liquid going to solid is freezing, water to ice. Liquid going to gas is vaporization, water to water vapor. Gas going to liquid is called condensation, water vapor to water. Gas going to solid is deposition, water vapor to ice. Freezing is when a liquid changes phase and becomes a solid, like when the water you put in the ice cube tray turns solid in the freezer. Freezing involves the loss of energy in the form of heat. Liquid minus energy goes to solid. At freezing, not only is there a loss of energy, but there's also an increase in the order of the particles in the substance. Melting is the opposite, when a solid changes phase and becomes a liquid. Melting is when the ice in your drink turns to liquid. Solid plus energy goes to liquid. As a substance melts, it becomes less ordered. At first, when you add energy to solid, the temperature doesn't increase. The reaction of solid plus energy going to liquid is in equilibrium. The added energy causes the reaction equilibrium to shift to the right until the entire substance turns to liquid. Only then does the increased energy added increase the temperature of the substance. At certain temperatures and pressure conditions, some substances can't exist as liquids. In these conditions, a substance in solid phase will move directly to a gas without going through the liquid phase. When substance changes phase directly from a solid to a gas, it is called sublimation. An example of sublimation is when dry ice turns directly into gas. When the opposite happens, the change of state from a gas to a solid without going through the liquid phase, it is called deposition. An example of deposition is frost on a window. The process of a substance in liquid phase going to a gas phase is called vaporization. During vaporization, molecules escape the surface tension at the surface of a liquid and enter a gas phase. Boiling is the changing of a liquid to a vapor or gas at boiling temperature. There is also evaporation, which is when particles escape the surface of a non-boiling liquid. Condensation is when a substance in the gas phase moves to the liquid phase. This is what happens with water on the outside of your glass on a hot day. A heating curve shows what happens to a substance as heat is applied. It is a plot of temperature versus time. You'll notice that the curve increases, then plateaus, then increases, then plateaus, before a final increase. At the plateaus, melting or vaporization is taking place. While the substance is transitioning between a solid and a liquid, adding heat does not increase the temperature until the whole substance has changed phase. The same thing happens between liquid and vaporization. These plateaus are called phase transition. In chemistry, phase refers to one of the four states that a substance can exist in: liquid, solid, gas, or plasma. A phase has uniform composition and properties. A phase change is when a substance changes from one phase to another. Freezing is when a liquid changes phase and becomes a solid. Freezing involves the loss of energy in the form of heat. At freezing, not only is there a loss of energy, but there is also an increase in the order of particles in the substance. Melting is the opposite, when a solid changes phase and becomes a liquid. Sublimation is when a substance changes phase directly from a solid to a gas, and deposition is when a gas goes directly to a solid without going through the liquid phase. The process of a substance in liquid phase going to a gas phase is called vaporization. Condensation is when a substance in the gas phase moves to the liquid phase.